All right, everyone. I see a lot of screeching from liberals right now claiming, oh, Texas and the other 25 states that have signed on with them are committing an insurrection against the U.S. government. Oh my God, quick, prosecute Greg Abbott, round up the militia that's there trying to help out, arrest the state guards, and let the Fed shoot them, which would be a bad idea since that Texas alone represents a significant proportion of the military firepower in the United States. I don't think that you want to tangle with them when you've already exhausted all your munitions helping Ukraine and Israel. I don't think, and Taiwan to an extent now. I don't think that you have the armaments, the actual capabilities. You'd have to occupy most of Texas, and there's like 20 million gun owners in the state too, and a lot of them have rifle armor and shit like that. And the Sheriff's Association is on their side, the state guard's on their side. There seems to be a significant amount of feds, actually, that are at least quietly on their side, too. But I wanted to posit this. I don't think this is an insurrection by Texas. I think this is an insurrection by D.C. The federal government is not doing its job. Its constitutionally sworn duty. The government in D.C. on this particular issue, on the border, represents the illegitimacy, not Texas. Texas is doing what its own state constitution and the 10th Amendment allow it to do, which is guard itself in the absence of help from the federal government. The federal government has been actively facilitating the illegal entry of people into the United States. It's been doing this for an extended period of time. It's become no longer a southern border issue, actually. It's become an issue for Chicago. It's become an issue for Philadelphia, New York, and all of these other places, sanctuary cities and sanctuary states. It's become their issue, too. This is why the Biden admin keeps hemorrhaging support. And as I've pointed out in polling, when you've got a 2-to-1 on the rise in disapproval and the lowering of approval, where the former is much larger than the latter, that represents millions of independent voters. These are not rock-ribbed conservatives or hardcore partisan Dems. These are the voters that you specifically need to target in an election. Some people are saying that it's a bait for Donald Trump, actually, that by him supporting this on Truth Social, well, Biden's going to have him removed from the ballot under the Insurrection Act. I would point out that's not actually within his power to do so. But it's true. Texas is the legitimate governing force in this particular struggle. There's a reason why half the states in the United States have already signed on with the basic premise and pledged at least verbal support, if not outright physical, tangible help for Texas. Their border is not secure. Greg Abbott has decided to secure the border. Biden has sued him on a number of occasions and has been told by Paxton to go fuck himself. By the way, they failed to remove him, which I thought was humorous. They tried to get rid of Ken Paxton. They wanted to have some conservative there as the district attorney. It didn't work very well now, did it? Attorney General, rather. Sorry. But the Biden admin, they're the ones that are illegitimate in this particular struggle. I mean, I would prefer the term illegitimate in general, of course, because Joe Biden was appointed. He's out to lunch. He should have been 25th a long time ago. He's not capable of doing his duty, and this is what happens. You've got wars, you've got an open border. It is an open border. Even Biden, by the way, liberals out there, the two of you that lurk on the video, even your boy Biden declared the other day that the border was in turmoil. He declared unequivocally there was a border crisis. He just didn't take responsibility for that. He blamed Orange Man, which is very interesting, again, considering the multi-decade low in border crossings under Donald Trump. And the fact that Biden's old boss, Obama's the one that made the Obama cages for kids there that they tried to, again, blame on Orange Man. You remember AOC's photo shoot at the border, and she's staring at the parking lot and crying and doing her puppy dog face, and it was just a pile of bullshit. Now, Texas is legitimate in this. Legally speaking, they've got the right to do what they're doing. The federal government doesn't have any right to impede. The federal government has the right to go to the border and guard the border, but they're not doing that. They're doing the opposite of that. And again, I've had several Border Patrol agents actually DM me with details on what's going on, and not just at Eagle Pass, but elsewhere. And it's not just Texas that's suffering from this problem, although it's disproportionate at this point. There's no love for the Biden administration's policies among these people. If anything, I think that they're reluctant to actually continue doing the anti-job that Biden has them doing. If the border is that screwed up, You have a decent-sized small city's worth of people crossing the border illegally every day, utterly overwhelming the system so that most of these people can't even be processed. They get briefly detained, they're hoping to get like their fingerprints and hopefully their real name, and then they just release them, they give them a cell phone and say, well, you know, we'll arrange a meeting in the future. We're so sure that you'll come to your asylum hearing. Well, no, I mean, if you don't think you can legitimately get asylum, but they semi-process you and then let you go in the United States, why the fuck would you want to show up? They're not going to be able to find you. They can't even account for a full third. This was a report several months ago. A full third of all the minors, unaccompanied minors that have entered the United States, at least up to that point, illegally, or with asylum claims, they can't even contact the people that showed up to take the kid and said, well, yeah, I'm his long-lost uncle or his cousin or something like that. They can't even contact them. Most of those kids right now are dead, being raped, or being worked to death in a sweatshop. Yeah, give us your huddled masses, and then let us enslave them by and large. And then, of course, some of the others are going to be abused, too. It's just, you know, the abusers psychologically damaged them so much that they don't have a problem showing up for the asylum hearing. This is nuts. Texas is trying to do its job, and it's being directly impeded by an illegitimate federal government, especially on this issue. The government is not doing its sworn duty at the border. Texas is like, okay, well, if you're not able to do that, we're more than willing to help. We'll erect border wall. We'll put up razor wire. We'll put buoys up on the Rio Grande. We'll have our own border patrol system. We'll use the Texas Marshals and militias can get involved in shit. Biden flips out and then gets rid of their gas leases, basically, which I think was retaliatory. He's done this to Eric Adams. Yeah, he just coincidentally got raided by the FBI a couple weeks after criticizing Biden for the job he's doing at the border, or rather not doing. He's been criticized by New York, he's been criticized by Chicago, he's been criticized by fucking San Francisco of all places, and is still unwilling and incapable of doing the job. Now, even if Biden were to do a 180, he comes out tomorrow and he says, well, you know what, we try to be a generous nation, but people are taking advantage of our generosity. So, you know, I stand with Texas now, and I'm going to let them deal with the border the way they want to. I'm pledging, you know, $10 billion for bollard fence or whatever. Biden does a 180, he doubles the number of ICE agents, he increases the number of areas that are secure as far as a border wall and electronic monitoring. Even then, it would still be a problem for years to come. It takes time to build wall. It takes time to work out those logistics. You'd have another 1 million people cross the border illegally before the spigot was even slightly turned off. So, in the absence of any attempt, which is the attempt that Biden is making, which is none at all, the problem just metastasizes. It's getting worse, not better. The number of crossings continues to inch upwards month after month. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of people every single month. Almost 100,000 people a week at this point. That's not sustainable. Then you have the rich bitches up north rambling about how Texas shouldn't be allowed to bus migrants here anymore. So Texas is just supposed to absorb an entire state's worth of population each few months and house them and clothe them and process them and take care of everything itself when the federal government won't even let them do it. The federal government's not even allowing them to do the job that they are sworn constitutionally at the state level to do. Ignoring the 10th Amendment, ignoring the Constitution's explicit pronouncement that the federal government has the responsibility to guard the state's various borders, and then claiming that the state is engaged in insurrection. No, it's D.C. that's being insurrectionist on this particular issue. That's about all. Peace out.